Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let it take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome to Wisconsin Family. I'm Janet Crescent.
And I'm Justin Riley, and we are at Madison Tap, part of Robinia Courtyard over on East Washington Avenue. And this is the newest addition to the Robinia Courtyard family, if you will. And it's a really great place, and they feature a different brewery I think it's each month, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah, but they'll feature exclusively one brewery for a period of time anyway, and you get to sample all the different types of flavors that those individual breweries have, and they're all local.
That's so cool. I love the local idea. And also the courtyard is really amazing. It's quite big. Actually, I was surprised at the size of it. So if
Yes.
you've got a larger group, I think you can reserve it. Or if you just got a couple folks in a small, find a corner and hang out.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's beautifully lit at night. It's just a really perfect place. It's got a lot of atmosphere. If you're doing any special events or anything like that, it's a great photo opportunity. So.
It really is. I highly recommend it. We're also talking climbing, strength and climbing. There's a gym called Summit Strength and Fitness that Coach Kuby is the proud owner. Yeah, he's the proud owner of that. He loves everyone to get involved with climbing.
Yes, and it's something that people can do for as long as they're alive, I think. You know, if you continue doing it, it's something that people at any level can do. So we'll learn about that later on in the program as well.
It's also July, and that means Art Fair Off the Square is coming. Don't want to miss that. This is the second weekend in July every year, and we're going to meet with Kathy Leibarger. She's the event coordinator.
Yes, and she's going to be wearing the sash. The hashtag sash. We'll find out what that is shortly after the break. But you know what's really interesting about Art Fair Off the Square is people obviously know Art Fair on the Square. And this is a similar type of thing, except it's all local artists.
Local artists, and a little easier to get through than the regular Art Fair on the Square.
Right, absolutely. So we'll learn a little bit from Kathy after the break here in Wisconsin Family, so stick with us.
'Cause every day is a new day. 'Cause every day is a new day.
And welcome back to Wisconsin Family. Justin and I are at Madison Tap, kind of a new place here on East Washington Avenue. We're going to learn more about it later on.
That'll be fun.
Right now, though, we're into July, and it wouldn't be July in Madison without Art Fair on the Square and off the Square. Joining us is Kathy Leibarger. She's the Art Fair Off the Square coordinator. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Love this topic. And you're actually with Wisconsin Alliance of Artists and Craftspeople.
Yes, I am.
Who's sponsoring and putting on the Art Fair Off the Square.
Yes, they are. We've been doing this is the 38th year.
Wow,
okay.
Congratulations. Let's start by what you're wearing.
Well, thanks for asking. This is my hashtag Art Fair Off the Square sash. It's a promotional device that we're using this year. We're going to have this on a mannequin up at the top of the stairs of the City County building, and have a photo booth behind it so that patrons can come by and take selfies of themselves and with whatever they purchase and hashtag it Art Fair Off the Square and hashtag their favorite artist.
Oh,
Love
very
it.
cool.
Yeah, so we hope it works this year. We kind of need help with, like during the show, everyone's so busy.
Right.
A lot of artists are good at getting pictures of people with their things anyway, but it'll help us out a lot if the public just kind of pitches
Sure.
in and goes up there and plays with the sash. They can keep it on the mannequin, or they can wear it themselves, or whatever. So it's, it should be kind of fun.
So you don't have the official title of Miss hashtag Art Fair Off
I
the
do
Square.
not. We
Okay.
just judge artwork, not people at the show. So
Sounds good. Okay, so as Janet had mentioned, Art Fair Off the Square is put on by the Wisconsin Alliance of Artists and Craftspeople. Can
Yes,
you
it
tell
is.
us a little bit more about this organization?
well, we're also known as WAC, which I prefer to know us by. And
I was going to say that, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be
It's kind of
appropriate,
burying
so-
the lead,
okay.
right? When you have a great acronym like that and you
Yeah.
call yourself Wisconsin Alliance of Artists and Craftspeople.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we are a group who puts on 2 shows a year. We have one at Monona Terrace in the winter and then Art Fair Off the Square in the summer. And the nice thing about our shows is that people who get into them they're juried in for 2 to 3 years, and so we kind of get to know each other, and so it's kind of a tight-knit group, and
Sure.
it's fun because it's also good for me because I'm a volunteer coordinator and I have to find volunteers, and when you're in the show for multiple years, you kind of learn it.
Sure.
And we get to know you, and we get to know who to target. You know, that person has a spouse who's not busy. We're going
Right.
to get them, that kind of thing.
We're going to get them.
Yeah. So that's good for me because that helps me out with the volunteer coordinating and all
Yeah.
that. So
So Kathy, Art Fair on the Square has artists from all across America, and Art Fair Off the Square is directly and exclusively Wisconsin artists,
Yes,
correct?
it is, yes.
What kind of, I guess, items can you find?
You can find pretty much anything. We have 129 artists from Wisconsin exhibiting in 12 categories, I believe: jewelry, sculpture, ceramics, etc. And since they're all local, it's you may be able to find them later. Sometimes when you're on the square, if you find a person who's can't track them down again later on, you can always find us if you have that remorse of not getting that one thing that you really wanted,
Right.
during the show. So it's it works really well, and I like the local aspect of it.
So if a family is planning to go and see Art Fair Off the Square, what are some highlights that they can expect to see when they're there?
Well, the one thing that I really want to promote is our featured artist this year. Each year, out of our returning artists, we choose one person's design. Oh, the sash is coming off. And this is Lori Mehta this year. She is right here on this very isthmus, and this is her her painting called Alien Birds, and we're using this on our T-shirts, which will be for sale at our information booth for I think $16 to $18, something like that. And it's a really great design. I really like the color and the whimsy of it and everything. And so
Whimsy is a good word.
yes, and Lori will be in
absolutely.
Laura will be in booth 56, I believe, at the art fair if you want to pick up one of her original paintings.
Okay, good. So it's Saturday, July 8th, Sunday, July 9th, between the Capitol and Monona Terrace.
Yes.
Just want to make sure we remind viewers of that for sure.
Yes, indeed.
And speaking of dates and times, what would you recommend is a good time to go?
Well, it's going to be crowded on Saturday, but if you like the farmers market moves to Wilson Street that day, so you can go
wow.
get your vegetables and get your art. And if you get there right at 9, it's not too bad. But
Okay.
parking is always
Sure.
bananas. So, but Sunday is a lot less crowded. If you want to just kind of have a more leisurely stroll through the art fair, that would be a good time to go.
And what are the hours on Sunday for?
The Sunday's hours are 10 to 5.
Okay, fantastic. And before we go, is there anything else you'd like to mention about the show?
I would just like to get everyone to come down there because our artists who participate go through so much trouble you're basically bringing and setting up a store for 2 days,
Right.
coming from another place. The displays are beautiful and the work is beautiful, and I know that you'll find something that you like there. So our price points are all over the place too, and we do
Okay.
have a lot of really affordable stuff up there.
Very good. And I don't want to jinx the whole thing, but what do you guys do if it's raining?
Well, you kind of just hunker down in your booth and.
Have you ever had to do that, like in
Yeah, it
38
usually.
years?
Oh, I'm sure. I've done it. It's been raining a couple times while I've
Sure.
been there, but it's usually kind of short-lived. I've never been in a torrential downpour or anything.
An all-day type of thing.
Yeah, so.
I wonder
we
too
do
if it might depend on what kind of wares you have, wouldn't it?
Yes, I'm sure it does. I'm concerned about wind because I have glass, so I don't want to
Ooh,
have
yeah.
that blow over. But
Yeah.
All right. Well, you made it through today without any wardrobe
Yeah,
malfunction.
right.
yes, I did, and I have my sash, so that
You're-
was the important thing.
You're off to a good start.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed
I
for
know.
you. This is Kathy Leibarger.
Leibarger.
From Art Fair on the Square, and that's put on by the Wisconsin Alliance of Artists and Craftspeople. And if you've not been to Art Fair Off the Square, you don't know whack. You like how I did there?
Well,
That's very good.
We'll be right back with more Wisconsin Family coming up after the break.
'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We've been at Madison Tap and Robinia Courtyard. If you haven't seen their courtyard, we saw it last time we were here. Really impressive, really gorgeous.
It's big and it's beautiful.
It is, and it's the time of year to enjoy something like that. So we're going to learn a little bit more a little bit later. Right now we're talking strength, fitness, and climbing with Keith Kubisa of Summit Strength and Fitness, better known as Coach Kubi.
Yep.
I love that.
Well, when the kids couldn't say my last name, it's like, well, let's go with the first part of it. So
I think
got
it's
stuck.
I love it. We're going to go with it. Thanks for joining us. Obviously, your forte is climbing, and yet your name is Summit Strength and Fitness, not Summit Strength and Climbing. Why did you choose that?
So the gym is set up in a way it's not just for climbers, not catered just to climbers, and I didn't want someone to see climbing in the name as a non-climber and be scared, like, oh, I have no business being in there.
Right.
So to get more people in the door and show them how you can use climbing in your fitness regimen, or even if you have no interest in climbing, we still have a lot of open spaces. Work with a lot of other athletes, just individuals that want to work out.
So you lure them in with fitness.
Lure them in fitness. Yeah, I mean, it's good to know that people have options there, but that also, hopefully, once they get in there, they learn that, you know, climbing can be for them, even if they didn't initially think so when they first came in.
Yeah, and we use the climbing wall as, you know, another fitness tool, per
Right.
se. You know, it just takes the mundane away from
Right.
finding a regimen. You know, you leave work and you don't know. It's one less thing to think about. I have to go do that workout, whereas,
Right.
you know, giving you something new to have fun on, and just
Sure.
so you're not thinking about your workout.
30 more minutes on the
Yeah.
elliptical.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, we don't want that. So we can't have
We
that.
don't even have elliptical, so
Right, yeah, yeah.
You should put that on your front sign.
We don't have
Ellipticals here.
ellipticals. That's your tagline. There you go. So, you know, one of the things that I love about doing these types of shows and doing this job is I get to talk with business owners who are very passionate about what they do, and it's very clear that you have a lot of passion, and oftentimes there's an inspiration behind starting a business. So, what is your inspiration for starting your
So
business?
the short story, since we don't have a lot of time, where I used to work, the full-scale climbing gym in town, I ran out of space and resources to work with my clients and the kids climbing team, and that and all the distractions of just a lot of people being in there. It was
Yeah.
tough to control the environment, and I'd go in not knowing what I can get done because not knowing who was going to be in there, what was going to be put on the climbing wall. So that was really the main reason, to have control of the space and where I can give the kids that come in for the climbing program my full attention and full value for the space, and give them resources
Right.
that they didn't have access to.
So you were training people at other locations before, but
Correct.
you found that it was hard to, like you said, control the environment, and you couldn't always guarantee what they were going to get when they walked in.
Yeah, and there was
Perfect reason to me to start
Yeah.
your own place.
running out of space too. It was
Yeah.
tough with, and as the sport is developing, you know, there's things that I noticed that could be of use that, you know, I wasn't going to invest my money into someone else's space to get
Right, yeah.
those things to be using with my
Makes
clients.
sense.
Right.
Speaking of climbing becoming more popular, I think you said a while back it's going to be an Olympic sport in a few years?
Yeah, 2020, if I get my
Something,
years right.
something like
yeah.
that. So folks that are using climbing as a workout, how would you say it differs from, I guess, a traditional gym?
There's, in a few ways, the most important way to me is you learn some body awareness. You're using your whole body as a whole. You're not just doing, a pull-up, or not just doing one movement. You're using your body all together, and it's a mental workout too, whereas, figuring out what you have to grab, what you have to step on, how and when and what order, and it's constantly evolving. I'll be climbing the rest of my life, and there's always stuff I can be finding to climb, and always look for improvement.
The mental comment's really
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it? You can't
Right.
really be thinking about what you're going to have dinner for later
No.
when you're
Right, you
trying
got to
to
be you got to be present and in the moment.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of times when people talk about exercise, they talk about functional movement. So obviously, this is something that people can translate and incorporate into their daily lives. But how can people translate the skills that they learn at Summit into their daily lives?
Just going back to the mental aspect, learning to be in the moment. It's so easy to get, look way forward,
Right.
where we're going, as opposed to just being right here, right now.
Right.
And the most important thing for me, get outside of the gym and go climb on some real rock. Go
Yeah.
out to. We've talked about Devil's Lake in the past, which is, I'm always astounded when I hear that people have never been there, whether it's climbing or not, in such a wonderful, beautiful place, and
Right.
you'll learn a skill that then you can go do more at Devil's Lake. Go climb on.
Sure.
something I bet you walk away with some, I don't know, self-reliance, self-confidence too. You mentioned youngsters coming in, and I suppose people continue. We're almost out of time, but when do people stop climbing? Do they stop climbing?
No, as long as you can, and that's one great sport. It's like golf. I think there's both those sports that people do forever. I have a couple guys that are 65 years old, and they're still in there moving, and as long as you can move, you can climb.
If you can move, you can climb. I love it.
All right. Well, thanks, Keith. Always interesting chatting with you. Keith is the owner of Summit Strength and Fitness. They're on Kingsley Way, south of the Beltline. And we're at Madison Tap at Robinia Courtyard. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. Janet and I have been enjoying ourselves here at Madison Tap, part of the Robinia Courtyard family of restaurants. Oh, your order's up, I hear.
Oh, I'll be right back.
And we're joined now by John Reske, who is the owner of Robinia Courtyard. John, good to see you again.
You too.
Good to have
Thanks
you back.
for being here, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us as always. So there's a lot of exciting things happening right now for Robinia Courtyard. So I want to start out by talking a little bit about Madison Tap, because that's kind of where we've been filming, the area in which we've been filming. So what's new, what's happening at Madison Tap?
Well, I don't know how much you know about the concept last time we spoke, but it's a tap room. We've got 17 lines, 14 of which are dedicated to a brewer partner that comes in every month, a new Wisconsin brewing company.
Okay.
We've got Ale Asylum on tap right now for today, and then tomorrow One Barrel Brewing Company is going to be coming on and taking over those lines. So
Or
there's kind of
July.
Exactly.
Okay.
So there's a bit of a changing of the guard ceremony that we have, and then they come in and they kind of use the space as an extension of their own brewery and the courtyard as well. So each new brewer partner brings in its own round of new energy, new ideas as far as events goes, and it just keeps the energy flowing through the space. So it's kind of nice.
So who did you say is coming for July?
One Barrel Brewing Company.
One Barrel, okay.
Yep.
And they, I mean, you're trying to focus on local breweries, it sounds like.
Well, not just local, but Wisconsin only.
Wisconsin,
for
right,
sure.
that's- yeah.
And so obviously,
That's local.
Okay, it is local. The Chinese would agree with you on that one. But yeah, it's nice. So there are a lot of Wisconsin breweries, brewing companies that would love to plant their flag in Madison, in our market, and this is a great opportunity for them to do so. And even more surprisingly is that we've got a lot of brewing companies that have, share backyards with us as well, and they're extremely excited to be part of this. So it's a win-win across the board. We enjoy the activity, the sales, and they get to enjoy, basically owning another space for
And your
for a
customers.
good month. Oh, exactly. They're excited. There's so many one-offs, so many exclusive offerings that are only available here from every brewing company as we move through. We're booked through January already.
Wow.
So it's nice.
The one-off, isn't that something they create special just for, I guess, the space?
Exactly, and it's either exclusively for this space or exclusively for their tap room. So,
So it doesn't get bottled or canned, is that
yeah,
what it means?
generally not. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it'll just be a few barrels here and there.
So that's what one-off means?
Yeah,
I thought you were trying to say runoff, and you just...
yeah, just no, it's not. No, thank you though.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, I mean, it's so crazy because there's so many breweries now in the state of Wisconsin, microbreweries and whatnot, that I mean, you could probably keep going and never really run out.
No, exactly. It's funny. There's probably a new one that just opened up while we were talking about it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. Obviously, there's ample room in the
Right.
marketplace, and there's always room for new creativity and new ideas. And so we're at well over 100, and
Yeah.
that number does go up probably by the month.
Wow, that's incredible.
So yeah, and there's only 12 months in a year. You could easily add 12 new breweries by the time you
Wow.
get to revisit what's going to be on the calendar the following year. So.
I want to make sure that we get a chance to, we're going to switch gears. I want to make sure that we get a chance to talk about Jardin, which is the new restaurant that's opening. So tell us a little bit about what that's going to be.
Well, so that is going to be a full-service restaurant that's going to be in back, holds about 80 people, and it's basically the complement to the other two concepts here between Black Locust Cafe and Madison Tap. Brandon Reed, our executive chef, whom you interacted with last month, he is putting out amazing food. The critics are starting to roll through for Madison Tap, and you would think that we were shooting for good, solid pub fare, and they're actually he's blowing away the critics right now, which is great. So we got a couple of articles coming out, and the proof will be in the pudding there, as they say. But so he's very excited to actually really test drive his talents out of Jardin.
Yeah, he was telling us.
Restaurant.
He was telling us that he really was using the local fare and whatever is freshest to actually drive the menu.
Right, exactly, and it's it's not uncommon for Madison actually. Madison's been very very in tune with that concept for the better part of 30 years, right? And so, but he's doing a great job, and he's so creative, and he's always on the move as far as the menu goes. He's just very creative, and that lends itself well to the seasonality of the menu that he's going to be putting out.
And when is it opening? It's soon.
Yeah, we're shooting for mid-July, right? So it could be second or third week of July. We're ramping up the staffing right now. Obviously, getting the kitchen in order is paramount. You just don't want to be putting out bad food, and it won't be bad, but timing and really
Right.
dialing that all in is.
Well, you have to work through the kinks. I mean, there's always growing pains when you're developing
Exactly.
something new.
Exactly.
So you
And
wanna make sure
July's kind of a slower month for the calendar year with restaurants, so it'll be a nice opportunity for us to open up and not get completely inundated with
Right,
people.
right.
So.
How does that tie in with the courtyard?
Well, they're going to be sharing a portion of the courtyard, outdoor dining, obviously, and then it'll roll nicely into a lot of the events. You know, we throw parties here every night pretty much. We have DJs, live music on Mondays all the time, so it's a great opportunity for sit-down dinners in front of that. Madison Tap for those who just want to grab a beer, a glass of wine, or a cocktail and sit back.
So Madison Tap or Jardin can use the courtyard?
Well, yes, and as well as Black Locust Cafe. All three of them interact. The courtyard's kind of the meeting point for all
place.
three types
Okay.
of people that might be interacting with the three entities.
So if you wanted to go to Jardin for dinner, you could say I'd like a table in the courtyard?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And I recommend it, by the way. It is gorgeous.
Yeah,
It's very
it
nice
is beautiful.
courtyard.
It's
Yep.
getting better by the month here. So everything's in bloom right now, and we've got we have you know, a lot of cool events coming up too.
Right.
So I encourage everybody to check out our calendar on Facebook, especially.
Check
It's
out their
loaded.
calendar on Facebook. Well, John Reske, thank you so much for the information today. Thanks for having us. And thank you to all of our viewers. We're a Wisconsin family, and we'll see you next time.
Clap your hands,